Now, the new hit Netflix comedy, it's called You People. Now, it's in focus for us here. It explores race relations between the Jewish, Muslim, and black communities in America, and it's come under some fire for appearing to reinforce antisemitic tropes about Jews being white, privileged, racist. A lot more to say about it here. We'll get into it in a minute, but first, here's a bit from the film.
I feel like being straight, alone on a building, dangling my legs off, wondering what it's like to feel companionship. What the fuck? What are you doing? Stop!
Help me to take!
Okay, but you're not getting 5 stars.
Uber driver?
I mean, honestly, you guys are twins.
Oh my God, wait, she really does look like me.
You're dating a black girl? Whether you like it or not, we kind of go together now.
You're my boo. Come on.
So you want to marry my daughter?
Yes, I do.
Well, Ezra, you could try.
The police
Okay.
are fucked up towards black people, so you're all Muslim.
Very much so.
I love it.
Are you familiar with the minister's work?
Well, I'm familiar with what he said about the Jews.
We were technically OG slaves.
Are you trying to compare the Holocaust to slavery?
Pass the potatoes.
Our people came here with nothing like everybody else.
Hey, what's up with white cuz? Am I white cuz?
Well, I'm not.
I'm white cuz for sure.
Now, to discuss much more about this, I'm joined by Chaya, activist and influencer, and Yirmiyahu Danzig, an Israeli activist from the home, HaBayit. So I appreciate both of you joining us here. I'm intrigued to see your thoughts on this. I mean, I saw this film a couple weeks ago. I think when it hit Netflix, it had me laughing, obviously, at certain scenes, but I found myself, my skin crawling at others, just so uncomfortable, the way the certain scenes were playing out. And I first, Chaya, I'll throw this to you. I mean, it felt to me like an sort of ill-fit attempt to generalize and represent these two communities, the Jewish and black Americans. First of all, LA Jews, I think, are way more diverse than this movie is portraying right here. What are your thoughts just on that angle of this sort of Los Angeles Jewish representation?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me back. It's always wonderful to sit in this chair, and this time to talk about something just a little bit more intense. We have to remind ourselves that this is a remake of an old Sidney Poitier film, okay? Where it was a black gentleman, a white woman, and then you have...
For dinner?
Yeah, Look Who's Coming for Dinner.
Yes.
And then Bernie Mac with Ashton Kutcher and Zoe, I forgot her last name, she's a Dominican young lady. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. So first of all, these storylines are ones that are actually current in their time, right? And I don't think it's just about LA Jews. Now, I can say for myself, I'm with you, I saw some cringy moments. I saw some moments where I didn't think the co-stars always had, as far as the people that are dating, had the best chemistry. It was forced a little bit, but I also saw myself in the synagogue scene. I saw myself, that is my synagogue.
I think a lot of
that is my synagogue.
Could see that.
And in the, in the black people, I mean, I don't know very many Nation of Islam people, but everyone has a Muslim in their family, right? So I saw so many true, even though they were like, it's kind of, to me, it was almost satire. And if you watch Kenya Burr, I think it's Kenya Burris, if you watch his stuff, Blackish and stuff, and he comes from this mixed family idea, I didn't like the N-I-G-G-A, just boom, Eddie Murphy was pop, 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 like it weird. But I also can tell you, I have some cousins that's going to use it just in that same context. So it feels uncomfortable, but we're living uncomfortable lives. It felt like at moments like truth, and then sometimes like satire. So that's my point.
Bring you into this. I mean, and just Chaya highlights some of this. I mean, the certain representations here. I mean, first of all, talking to Nation of Islam. Eddie Murphy playing this guy. I think it's barely 1% of black Americans are Muslim. So this was an interesting sort of really defined niche that they already were putting forward here to sort of go into these stereotypes. What did you think about that? The sort of extremist figure that Eddie Murphy played and how that played out.
Well, I think that it was interpreted differently for the Jewish community and for the black community. In the black community, I think all of us know Muslims in the black community. We have Muslims in our family. It's something that's very common, particularly in urban communities, like the Caribbean American community, lots of Muslims, whether it's in New York City, LA, Philadelphia, Orlando, etc. And so the fact that they chose somebody who was so extreme, a follower of the Nation of Islam, a Farrakhan, it was seen as like, okay, this doesn't really represent the black American experience, but because of that, it's something we can laugh at. And the issue is that for the Jewish experience, Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam play a different role in our lives. And that's why, even though it was a comedy and I was laughing at a lot of scenes, a lot of American Jews were triggered because it was seen as a tragedy, the tragedy of American Jewry, and that we have close to 40% of American Jews that are identifying as Jews of no religion, and that's just one symptom of that tells a story of American Jewry that far too many of us have a weak identity, a poor understanding of our history and who we are, and how to respond to anti-Semitic tropes like those that are put forward by Louis Farrakhan.
Yeah, just Farrakhan being brought up in the way that it was in the movie here, the sort of awkward discussions that they, crafted around this. I felt to me like they weren't leaving that aspect denounced enough, or sort of, putting down some of the more extreme. I mean, Farrakhan, just one quote, that white people are the devil. I mean, this is a lot of inflammatory stuff coming from a figure like Farrakhan. How do you think they took on that aspect?
Once again, I think that they really wanted to create this debate. They really wanted to, because when I saw it, I was like, my first reaction was like, Farrakhan? Yes. They could have just did a black Christian family. They went in there. They went really far. Yeah. And then they also obviously got a, like a reform, like far, like, we're just kind of here using our phone on Shabbat family. Both sides of it, but I'm also able to look at it and say, now I'm going to tell you, if you watch black comments, the black people were laughing. They were talking about the difference. People, you had a lot about, okay, this is with the white family, this is with this. But then when I look at my other side of my community, was the Jewish community, it was like, we're not watching you, we're not giving a chance. It was black people, when we're so used to being made fun of, we have taken back this like power of laughing at things. So I see also how the two different communities responded. Where I agree with Yirmiyahu, because there's also so much pain there, but it's a different type of response, if that makes any sense.
Okay, I want to get both of your thoughts here in just the limited time we have left, Yirmiyahu. I mean, the bottom line, does this film do more harm than good, or the other way around? Is it a net positive in some way, portraying this?
I think time will tell, but I think we, as the Jewish community and the black community and the black Jewish community, should be taking this moment as a call to action. Far too many Jews, like the Jewish family that were portrayed in the film, don't know how to respond to anti-Semitic tropes, don't know that there are plenty of Jews that don't just look like Jonah Hill, but also look like Lauren London, who is also of Jewish parentage.
That's right.
And so this is part of this identity crisis that American Jews are dealing with, and that the black American community is dealing with, and we need to be able to navigate these as communities, and only then we'll be able to deal with each other as equals and with the dignity and respect that we both deserve.
Hey, at least they've generated interesting source of conversation.
Can I say one more?
Yes, please. We have about 30 seconds. Tell us, Chaya.
I know that there's this hot spot of feeling like a little bit of cringe for moments, but what really brought me into the movie was in the end, is when Eddie Murphy went to him and said, I'm sorry, I never saw myself in you. And the mom saying, I was just trying to be cool. Sometimes, I saw an Italian person, I was like, oh my God, the pasta. I probably sounded bad too, but it was with trying to be loved, so they're just trying to see each other. Let's open it up and get going.
Appreciate you both being with us.
Thank you, David.
Appreciate our viewers as well. I'm David Matlin in Tel Aviv. Thanks for joining us.